And we're back. Brentocast-34, March 30th, 2023. Coming to you live-ish from the shores of the beautiful Baden Lake. Sitting by the boat launch area across from Alcoa here in the lovely town of Baden. Man, it is beautiful today. Probably about 58 degrees if I had to guess. And just super, super quiet out here. Several people have already got their boats out this morning. There's a 15-minute docking policy, docking, loading, and unloading. And I just noticed a guy, when I was pulled up here and went to use the little public facilities here by the parking area. And just as I walk in and close the door behind me, I'm thinking to myself how somebody has scratched Thug Life over the toilet. Somebody else came along and wrote underneath it is for P word. And just as I close the door, I hear somebody go, yeah. And I'm watching the guy go get in his boat right now. He's kind of a big dude. He's got like a really cool looking, actually kind of white hoodie on with sort of like a flanged back area, almost like a mini cape across the back, and a black toboggan, sunglasses, khaki pants on. And he's talking on the phone, I gather. And that's who went, yeah, just as I went in the bathroom. I guess he was talking to somebody on the phone, but he was pulling his truck out when I got out, and now he's going to get in his boat. So I guess that's what was up. And appreciating the fact that a lot of guys, like just having their boat, whether it involves fishing or not, is kind of their hobby, and it's an expensive hobby as I understand it. But I do get the appeal to that. Like just going out and exploring Baden Lake. Baden is a big, long lake with lots of bends and turns, so it's not like you can sit at one end of it and see the whole thing. And I do get the appeal of that, although in my case, I think I would be more interested in the other river over there, that we're kind of on one side of Mara Mountain. On the other side of Mara Mountain is access to the river. And it's long too, but it is super beautiful out here. It's protected the development on this end of Baden Lake, so it really is something to look at, not littered with houses. And actually the stuff here by the parade grounds here in Baden, none of that is developed. Like, it's just completely woodland on the other shore, so it's very appealing. You can't really easily walk over there, but you can look at it, and it's untouched. And this place is just covered with wildlife, lots of deer here. So I love it. But anyway, he's taking off and heading out. And it looks like he's not going to fish. He's just riding around. So I get that. I completely see the appeal. I wanted to just go ahead and get this podcast, out there for the end of March, because March has been pretty eventful. Not quite a week since my last podcast, but a lot has happened in that time. Last night was my first time in the studio for 2 weeks. It's one of those rare Wednesdays, last Wednesday, where I don't go, and had no studio work last week. But we did have a performance last weekend, so this was kind of a neat little return. And I went ahead and made the commitment that we were going to work on strictly guitars. There's still vocals that need to be done, but sometimes I find it better just to kind of get myself in that vocal mode and get the right mic set up and stuff, and do a lot of that at one time. And likewise, when you really kind of land on some guitar tones that are really inspiring you, you kind of want to do all of that you might do on the album. And my whole approach to solo playing is not what you might think. Harrison's able to just throw down a brilliant solo anytime, and even with multiple solos comping, each, he's only going to go below a certain level, even totally improving. I'm not that way. I have to do just a lot of takes, and then just take the pieces we like. I might replay them, I might not. We might just take them and tweak them and chop them together, but it always sounds natural enough, in the final product. But in any case, yesterday I decided to take my Rock Pro 1000, my Fender Rock Pro 1000. 1,000-watt cabinet is loud, y'all. Way loud. It's for playing on a stage outside. That's what that amp is for. It's not particularly geared toward the studio or indoor spaces. Even though I do rehearse inside with it, it does have a tendency for the clean sound to be so loud that it blows people away, or at least people on the stage. And I was really struggling with that Saturday. I kept trying to control my volume with my guitar knob. I really needed a foot volume control. And my biggest critique of the video playback is that I was too loud. But we got through it. That was our first time playing as a band, all four of us. So it was a real luxury having two guitar players. And I do think I did some acoustic and some electric. And I do think that for those shows, probably I'm going to predominantly play acoustic until we get tighter. And that includes myself with parts. There's songs that we do harmonies on that I'm really excited to do, but we didn't get it. The one we're going to do the big harmony part on in that first set is Shortcake, and it just so happened we were warming up with that one, and I had the acoustic, so I didn't get to do my harmony part on that one. But last night we did work on the solos, and the arrangement of that song, Harrison and I kind of take it out of the blues and sort of go in more of a jazz progression in G sharp minor, and it's a different scale for me. It's a G sharp minor mixolydian that I need to play, which is not at all like a minor pentatonic, which I definitely favor in my solo playing. So I really had to work on it, and I actually practiced it for about 15 minutes yesterday before I was heading out to the studio, and apparently I got a little loud because they came up and asked me to turn down downstairs, and I didn't realize I had gotten that loud. I put the amp right beside of me, but I guess I should have put headphones on as well. But in any case, oh my gosh, there's like an eagle down here. I'm going to have to go over here and look at this. Down here by the water. If he's sleeping or nesting or what. But anyway, did take the opportunity to go ahead and take as many takes as I needed to get something cool for that solo. And then, of course, Harrison comes through and just absolutely kills it. It was amazing. We were just in that solo mode. And Harrison's always creative, but there are times that he elevates, like he gets really dialed in. And last night was one of those times. So we were sitting there really taking all the time we needed to get the solos on that just right. And then the last thing last night at the studio, by the way, I got there probably about 4 o'clock, and I think I left at 7:40. But the last thing I did was listen back to some stuff that I did 2 weeks ago on leads, where I really had dialed in this amazing Eric Clapton guitar tone with like a Fender Pro Fender Tweed type amp. I'm not sure which amp it was, to be honest, but I was using my Eric Johnson Stratocaster, and it really sounded, it was a clean sound that was very, very Clapton-esque, and I was doing fills on the song Unkind Joke, and then I did some soloing also in the G sharp minor mixolydian on another song called The Right Track. And on the one song, just by happenstance, I happened to play like a Mark Knopfler-esque lick because our sound was really similar to what he plays with. And Eddie said something about it, so immediately that inspired me to try to like reach for that. And we got a pretty good, decent solo. All my solos tend to be platforms for Harrison to come in and play a more complex solo after. Lots of times I just like how that works. I was a big fan of the Outlaws back in the days when you could go and see those guys live, and I saw them 2 or 3 times locally. Actually, recently I was in Salisbury, kind of coming up on the backside of Salisbury in a way that we don't usually approach the downtown area, and I did see the club where Todd and I went and saw the amazing Outlaws. In my humble opinion, the greatest Southern rock band of all time. I mean, that's probably not something everybody carries, but I like them better than Skynyrd, and I love Skynyrd. But like Huey Thomason, Chris Hicks combo, wow, that band was vocally and guitar-wise and songwriting-wise my favorite of that whole genre. It's really cool because Chris Hicks does a podcast now called The Southern Rock Insider from Capitol Records. You should check that out on YouTube if you're interested in Southern rock music at all, because it's a really, really great podcast and very informative. He always plays. He talks about particular guitar players he's played with. And he's been in Marshall Tucker, of course, the Outlaws. I think he might have been in Skynyrd as well, and a couple other big-name Southern rock bands. So he ought to know, and he can play like all those guys. It's pretty amazing. For guitar nerds only. But, okay, so what else did I do this week? Well, I did manage to get out to see John Wick 4. And, like everybody else, I enjoy the John Wick movies, but it's a whole lot of the same thing. And I remember thinking at my time, I've enjoyed this character, the story, but 4 movies is enough. And I really hope they have the class and the sense to end it at 4. I know they're super. I think it had like it broke some sort of record for opening weekends or something. So now they're talking about, and it was clearly intended to be the final, without getting into spoilers, it was intended to be the final installment, but they left the door open. And as such, now they're saying, oh, well, it doesn't have to be. Wow, a giant buzzard just came right by me. Oh, he's got a wounded wing. Wow. Okay, he's still flying, but there's one down here by the water I want to go look at. Man, this guy's big. I kind of want to get off this podcast and take a video of him, but buzzards do a really important job, and as a little kid, I didn't appreciate that. I think I probably shot at them, which is illegal, by the way. But they're very important to our ecosystem because they take care of a lot of roadkill. But these things are like so much bigger than you think until you get up close to them. Like they rival the size of an eagle, which is, the biggest bird around. But I digress. So John Wick, I go see it, and I was able to get out to see it the evening of Monday, which I almost never go after massages. But with cancellations and people being sick, it's been a little bit light lately. Typically 4 would be the most massages I would have in one day, and that was the case this day. So they did a matinee, and it was good. I mean, it was beautiful. It was well made. It's always so well shot. The costumes and the characters amazing. And it's like a love letter to fans of action movies in general, but particularly martial arts and shoot 'em up. I mean, like if you're a fan of either of those genres, I mean, that film is marketed to you, and it was great, and I liked it in so much as it did the same thing the other films have done. It just did more of it in different locations, and it was fun. Neat little homage to The Warriors, and if you're familiar with that film from the 70s, the late 70s, great film. Check it out if you haven't. But I enjoyed it, but I thought, yeah, it's time. And then, of course, the very next day, broken records. We were thinking about a John Wick 5, or, now John Wick 5 is definitely a possibility. And I think if they were going to carry that on, they should do it without Keanu, and his character should, basically stay where he is, and they should take it in another direction. I mean, it's funny that it seems like they're trying to do that with James Bond, and, with a female kind of pushing forward a female Bond. A lot of people found that offensive, like it was just wokey woke or whatever. I didn't find it that way at all. I actually thought it was a cool idea to have a female James Bond, but, obviously not James Bond 007. But, and I was okay with the actress that they chose for it. She's good. I've seen her in a lot of stuff, and she certainly pulled off the action. But, to me, Daniel Craig has been my favorite James Bond, and it's sad to see him kind of end his tenure in that character. People tend to get upset about stuff like that, but, the guy's getting old, man. That's a very physical role. I didn't get pissed when Jet Li stopped making action kung fu movies, because I, as a martial artist, recognize how hard that is on your body. And, you're getting up into your 60s or your late 50s, and it's hard to do that. Same with Jackie Chan. It doesn't hurt my feelings that he doesn't do those crazy stunt films anymore. I'm just glad he's still working. I enjoy his stuff. He's going to make another Rush Hour film, and I'm very excited about that. But people go crazy. The whole Henry Cavill thing. Yes, Henry Cavill, of course, is my favorite Superman, but am I pissed that they're picking they're going another direction with that? I mean, that role has to be refreshed. Just like Batman, they're going to keep on making Batman films, and it's kind of cool that they're bringing back Michael Keaton, who's a lot of people's favorite Batman, and I have to say, probably my second favorite Batman behind Christian Bale, but I liked him a lot, and as goofy as his Batman film, was because of who the director was, I really liked it a lot, and I'm excited that he's going to be returning to that role. But anyway, I'm just not, I guess, passionate enough about the actual source material to get all bent out of shape. Now, I will say The Witcher without Henry Cavill, I probably won't be watching. It was already very female character centric in a way that didn't make a ton of sense. Of course, like everybody else, I enjoyed the evolution of the character Yennefer because they had such a beautiful actress and whatnot. But I don't think that one is going to hold my attention. Getting away from the Witcher character, which were these sort of alchemy-aided samurai Klingons. I don't know, which is ironic what I did there. Samurai, obviously, are the inspiration for the original Klingons in Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek. But they've kind of become synonymous with like that high tech Aboriginal culture, almost like the predators, like honor driven or hunters and that sort of thing, and don't mind dying for their sport kind of a thing. I don't know. Me personally, I like to stay healthy. And on that note, I have continued to eschew bread. I am off the bread. I'm so happy about that. And I'm still trying to diet, and I've created a diet plan I'm going to get into here within a week or so, and do some meal prepping for a couple weeks and see if I can't drop some weight like that. Man, the boats are just, I don't blame them because the weather is beautiful, but the boats are just getting out there quick. But, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what my thoughts are on the John Wick series, and I'm excited that they're back to making movies that are a big deal to go see in the theater after the whole COVID, whatever it was. And I realized that they are also showing Creed, which I really like the, I'm sorry, I don't remember the guy's name, but the actor that plays opposite of the lead in the new Creed film, Michael J. What's his name? Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, the other guy. I really find myself liking his roles a lot, and he's the main baddie in this, so I think I'm going to try to slip off perhaps this evening. This is my one evening of the week to do some work, and I'm actually behind on my release schedule for Rossi, but I might be able to knock that out this morning, and if I can, I'm going to pop over and see Creed at the matinee at about 4:30 this afternoon if things go to plan. Actually, I might not be able to do that. We'll just have to see how that goes. I may go see it tonight. But in any case, it looks really good, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. This morning, when I dropped Nancy off for work, the door is open on the side, and I realize something is up. So I go in, and there's a squirrel that has gotten its way into the store, and we're trying to leave the door open to get it to go out. And Nancy is like, "Oh, get in there and go get that squirrel." I'm like, "Look, I got sandals on. I'm not getting a bunch of rabies shots. Are you crazy? What are you thinking?" The squirrel will leave when the squirrel wants to leave. Just leave a path open and he will leave. And her approach to things like that, it cracks me up because she just doesn't know anything about dealing with animals. And I'm not down with Liam, of course, wants to shoot him with a BB gun. I'm like, you'll probably put somebody's eye out. One, and two, that's hugely cruel. He didn't do anything but wander into the wrong place. I mean, I'm not with hurting small animals or any animals for that matter. The only time it's okay to hurt an animal is if it's trying to kill you. In my humble opinion, this is where I've evolved to as a human being, and I feel confident in that is the correct position to have. So I do not believe in harming animals, and I'm only okay with humane methods of controlling these animals. Now, if it really became a huge issue, maybe I would devolve or whatever, go back to, okay, we're going to have to trap and kill these things, but I don't think so. I do not like to see small animals hurt. Even like a squirrel, that's gotten shocked on a power line or something, that bums me out. And recently, we have a ton of rabbits around here. I've had to dodge a couple of rabbits here of late, and yeah, I never want to see those guys hurt. But anyway, obviously, I'm rambling on here. I just have my delicious cappuccino over at Baden Coffee. I'm charged up, ready to go meet the day, do some work, feeling creative, excited to be getting close to finishing the Southern Lane portion of the project. Going back to the studio tomorrow night to try to wrap up 4 or 5 songs for Ansel Brown, finish up his album project, and then on to pre-work for the Vigil Brothers, who are coming back in June. Man, this year is getting away from us. Anyway, hope you guys have a great week. Be sure to tell somebody that you care about them, and spend time with family. Take it easy. Don't get too upset. Don't waste your energy being angry at anybody. It's pointless. Johnny Brento signing off.